This video is wrapping up the year 2022. If you look closely, I cut that out of a magazine last year, 2022. Happy New Year. That was probably on January 1st. And now here it is on end of December, and we're getting ready for New Year. Or when you see this, it'll already be New Year. So the object of this video, what is my personal choice for Speaker of the Year 2022? Last year, I'll remind you, I had picked the Mackie Thumb Go and the JBL Mark II. They both came out in 2021. The Mackie Thumb Go in the portable battery size speaker under 20 pounds or so. And the JBL Mark II, also battery powered, but much larger column. If I had to pick one, obviously the Mark II is the better performer. But this year's winner is under this mystery cover. Obviously, it's not a column array, it's pretty small. So here we go. Let me take off the cover to reveal the winner. So these are my two finalists for the honor of Best Speaker that I own, that I've experienced in 2022. So on the left, we have the JBL Eon 710 and the EV Everse 8. There is a considerable price difference. JBL is very reasonable at $500 even, and the EV, as I mentioned before, $750. So the JBL is more of a budget DJ speaker, where the EV is more of a musician speaker. JBL is lacking any kind of reverb. So right there alone, that's gonna cancel out most musicians who require that. Obviously, there's a huge size difference, form factor, fitting in your car. The weight difference is also a factor. JBL is 26 pounds. The EV is 17 pounds, 9 pounds difference. But, you know, I was just carrying it up the steps just now. It feels heavier, the JBL. It's just a much bigger speaker. And on the same topic of weight, for some reason, they've deleted any kind of side handle. There's only a handle on top on the JBL. So when you're trying to put it on a speaker stand at its maximum height, it's a little tricky. It's definitely manageable at 26 pounds, but there's nothing to really grasp on. I kind of feel like it could slip. So that's a negative in my opinion. I know JBL, I think when you go to the Eon 712 and the 715, then they have the side handle. So I guess they thought 26 pounds wasn't heavy enough to include that $1.50 chunk of plastic. Let's talk about maybe the most important part, and that's sound. The JBL, in my opinion, again, I'm not going to do a side-by-side sound test right now, is the fuller sounding speaker. It has a 10-inch woofer compared to the 8-inch of the EV, so it has a little more a little more low end. It's just more of a little bit more of a fuller sound. They both have an excellent high end, but overall, when I A/B them next to each other, the JBL was a little better. But you're paying for it in form factor and weight. And of course, again, I forgot to mention something very important, and that's the EV is battery operated. JBL is not, AC only. So there's your huge difference, and there's probably the price difference. It costs money to put a removable battery in the EV. That's where the technology comes along. So the apps are both great. The JBL has quite a bit of EQ ability, but the EV app is just that much better. It's much easier to use, clearer. JBL is frantically working on updating the app, but it still hasn't happened. So those are the two finalists for 2022. Both great speakers, but different tools for different jobs. I should mention another selling point for the JBL is their whole Eon series, the compact, the Mark II, this series, the 710, 712, 715, they all have now a 7-year warranty from JBL, which even beats out the famous Yamaha. Actually, I'm sorry, it's the same as Yamaha, 7 years, but it beats out QSC, which is 6 years. EV, I'm sure, has your standard 1-year warranty and maybe a couple of years on parts. So that could be a factor for DJs who really, using their speakers on the road. It's nice to have that insurance of 7 years. The JBL has the same excellent new technology, the Bluetooth 5.0. It is also a 2-channel instrument input, but I do like the EV better because it has locking inputs. This does not, and they both have XLR out. And one more difference, and that's a plus in the JBL category column, is the EV puts out maximum 121 decibels and the JBL 125 decibels. So 4 dB difference is noticeable. In my own personal tests, when I get to about 3 dB, it's kind of like the sound adding a second speaker. So that's, again, a consideration. And the winner is the EV Everse 8. Just came out about a month or so ago. Why did I pick this? Well, you need to go back and see. I made a number of videos about it already, but if you want the long and short of it, quick summary, the EV, battery powered, small form factor. Its main competitors, the Bose S1 Pro, JBL Eon Compact, Mackie Thumb Go. So this is also a battery powered speaker. Bluetooth, has the newest Bluetooth 5.0, has double the range. Excellent battery, over 10 hours. 8-inch woofer, which is larger than the S1 Pro. So you're gonna get more bass. Matter of fact, in my previous video, I compared the two. You need to go back and check it out. I said the EV was kind of like a mini subwoofer compared to the S1 Pro. It has an excellent app that the S1 Pro is missing when you're comparing those two. That app has a 3-band EQ. Again, the S1 Pro is missing mids. This has it. So there's a lot of new technology in this speaker. That's probably why I'm picking it. It's a musician speaker. Basically, it's 2-channel only, but it's great for a singer-songwriter. But people are being disappointed. I want to give some heads up. People are opening up. It's not cheap, $750. The Bose S1 Pro has gone down to $600, so now you have a $150 difference. So what makes this better? Well, first of all, some people are returning it. They're opening it up, they're playing it, and they're saying, gee, this doesn't sound much better than a regular Bluetooth speaker. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not a plug-and-play speaker. You have to spend some time with the EQ. The EQ is extensive, and if you dial it in properly, if you've listened to, like I'm telling you about my past video, when I compared them, that was with EQ dialed in. And when you dial in the EQ, it does sound considerably better than competitors. Very full range. But if you just leave it on flat and you don't have the time to do it, or you don't have the ability to do it, it's not going to sound much better than the S1 Pro. You can save yourself $150 if you don't want to mess with the app, the EQ. When you play the speaker next to the other competitors, like I mentioned, the Mackie Thumb Go, the JBL Compact, the S1 Pro, you're not going to get a huge difference in dBs, max dBs, even though it's rated much higher. It's rated at 121 dB, 400 watts. Personally, for my own testing, I didn't really see that huge difference. The difference I have found is in the clarity when you're getting up near your clipping. When this speaker is clipping red, it still sounds perfectly clean, and I feel like it has more headroom. Where the JBL, the Mackie gets very harsh at anything past 100 dB. The Bose S1 Pro, the little woofer, 6.5-inch woofer, so it's bottoming out. So any kind of bass music, that's gonna go right there, anything past 100 dB. And then you come to this speaker and it's still clean and it feels like it can go louder. No, it's not a QSC CP8. where you're going to get 110 dB. It's not that. No battery speaker can match that. So if that's what you need, then you need to stick with AC power. The specs kind of show what I was talking about. The low bass, it goes down to 50 hertz. It goes up to 20. That 20 hertz, like I mentioned, is very clean. It has a QSC type of clean high end, a typical PA high end. That's kind of missing from Bose. Bose is more of your mid-range smooth speaker, and this is more of a PA type of sound signature. This has 100 degrees coverage, which is excellent. Not quite as good as the Bose. The Bose has 120, but 100 degrees is still really good. I mentioned the app. This speaker has 17 reverbs. That's pretty impressive. The Bose has 1 reverb. This has 30 total effects. So again, very high tech compared to the other speakers that have been out a couple of years. So the technology has progressed if you're willing to spend the extra money. So it is $750. It's not pocket change, but if you know what you're doing and you dial it in properly, it's worth it. So there it is, long and sweet and quick and sweet. Summary, my pick for 2022, the EV Everse 8. For 2023, my wish lists, I would like to see the EV30M. I'd like to see a battery-powered column version of that. I'd like to see a battery version of the Bose Pro 8. It's all possible because JBL did it with the Mark II, so I know it's possible. And then maybe a possibility of a new Bose S2 Pro that needs to be updated with a proper app, with a proper EQ with mids. Those would be my wish list for 2023, and we will see what happens. Happy New Year's, and this is Bill. Later.